hello. Hey, how y'all doing?
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to talk about the Youth Protection Safe Curfew 2.0. I think that's what, 2.0. So, so far, Eric and Marcel, what have y'all heard about this curfew about in Fayetteville, North Carolina? What's the things that y'all have heard overall?
Basically, the one thing that I heard was that it's they try to take away people's constitutional rights. Um, that the curfew, I heard it on both sides. That the curfew can help, cut down on the crime. It also can protect people's children. I actually don't think that the curfew is a bad thing. I think people give the curfew a bad rap, but I'm all for the curfew.
Okay.
Uh, just like any other hot topic, it's the same thing. You got those that are for it, and then you got those that are against it. But the problem I see that those that are against it don't have a solution for it. So curfew is supposed to be in place to curb what's going on. So if you don't want to do a curfew, then what is your fix? How do you fix it? And for me, from what I've seen, there's no fix for that, or they haven't said it fix for it. If you say there's no curfew, then how? What is your solution to the problem? That's what I've heard.
Well, I know I've been keeping up with it on both sides of it, and um, just to bring people like I said, the myth, I call it the myth, is they're saying that it's going to violate people's civil rights.
Mm-hmm.
Where my comeback on that one is, if that was the case, then I mean it's 400 cities that have curfews. So that again, they're just the other side. The ones who oppose the curfew are just throwing stuff out there. I
Mm-hmm.
sat back and I was sent a link to watch, I guess, some type of I want to say it was AM 1600. I'm
Mhm.
not sure the name of the show. Never. I mean, I think I've seen it a couple of times, but the gentleman was on there and he was talking about it's illegal. I mean, the stuff that he was saying, um, there's no truth in it, because if there's any truth in it, then they wouldn't be trying to do it. And I think that's the biggest problem is there's more people like, and I still do not completely understand why are all these people coming out of the woodworks making up stuff to prevent the curfew. Now, what they're saying is that there's a possibility that the police department will use it to go after young ones. That's another myth, but they're saying that they'll abuse it and turn it into stop and frisk.
Mhm.
Um, Again, I still don't understand, and I'm starting to believe this is just my insight is that the opposing side seems to be more to support criminals
Mm-hmm.
than they are to protect the people. So who are we protecting? Are we protecting the innocent, or are we protecting the people out here committing crimes?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that's confusing, because if you listen to the other side who oppose the curfew, they're just making up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like data, like the data that they're using is data from other places. There's no other place like Fayetteville.
And
Every
Mario,
community is different.
and I'm sorry, can I interject real quick too?
Yeah,
Okay, and so also I'm thinking about what you just said. Okay, so the curfew, I know it's supposed to be for a certain age, right?
right.
Okay, so if people out here, even if let's just say the teenagers did have a curfew, okay, so all the teenagers are in the house because they had a curfew. Okay, crime is still gonna be committed because of the fact that you're gonna have people that don't have curfews, which are adults. Now you'll be violating, I think, the Constitution whenever you say there's a curfew for even grown folks. You understand what I'm saying? So that's not what they're saying. They're not saying that because I'm the age that I am that I have to be in the house at a certain age. That's not what they're saying. So at least we know that on the other side, we know that our children and our teenagers will be safe, and also we can cut down on some of the petty crimes and stuff that a lot of these teenagers out here are doing. I think that's the side that we're not looking at either, because you can't stop an adult from going out here in these streets all times of night, because it's not a curfew on the adults, it's a curfew on the teenagers and stuff like that. So at least we will know that not only it's two things, that our teenagers will be safe, and then because parents, you know your children, and then not only will they be safe, they won't be able to be out here doing a lot of petty crimes. And so if they do go out here when there's a curfew in place and the police stop them, I don't think it's so much of harassment. I think it's the fact that now y'all are breaking the ordinance that they put in place for you guys.
Right, and see, I guess my thing is, and like when y'all ask your grandson, what, and this is the part, when y'all ask your grandson about the curfew, how did he respond to about the curfew?
He said that he said, first of all, he's for it. That's the first thing he said. Then the second thing he said is that he said that I really believe that the children, from teenagers from the age of 18 on down, should be in the house at a certain time. He said, because why are we out there anyway all times of night, whenever, you know what I'm saying? And then he said that he told my husband today, was it today or today? He said this generation is off the chain. He's like, there's no way I'm gonna be out here in these streets like that with this generation and stuff like that. But he's all for it. He's definitely all for the curfew.
Okay, I know. I asked both of my sons. Both of my sons said the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that some of the people that are, and this is what I've heard also, is that some of the people that are involved from the opposite side, they don't even have children.
Wow.
So that's, again, I'm trying to understand their angle.
Yeah, like wow.
They don't have children. I mean, I'm not saying all. Some do have children.
Yeah.
But the main ones pushing the issue don't have children. Then on top of that, what is their, like, my thing is like and Eric, you know where I'm going to go with this one. In the Army, the way we was brought up, if you don't like the solution, you come up with your own solution or a better idea. And so their idea, there is no other idea to fight crime or to keep the children safe. My biggest issue is keeping the children safe. The crime situation, that's something, again, that's something else, but keeping the children safe. So again, I've heard the same stuff that I've been hearing for the last 10 years are the same recommendations. Okay, you've been recommending this for 10 years now, over 10 years. Extend the recreation center hours. Give them places to get. All the recreation centers we have throughout the entire community, they could start programs up for the kids to go to. But again, how many times have I heard this? I keep hearing the same old recommendation for years. We all know there are no platforms here in Fayetteville for children. If they're not involved with their church or if they're not doing sports, there is no other platform for them. So I get that part where we need to give more platforms for the children, but at the same time, that still doesn't solve the problem. That's not a solution to the problem. The solution to the problem now that for all the kids that are good, or all the kids looking for something to do, then yeah, that will solve that problem. But what are we doing about the crime? The issues where you can come, like, you got people getting shot in their cars, people getting shot in their homes, and for what? So that's the biggest piece of them. And then the biggest part that I hate are the excuses that they're using.
Yes.
Civil rights violation. That's a myth. There's no such thing as civil rights violation. Then they're talking about the other thing was, okay, the police officers are going to use it and abuse it. Okay. All I want to say is, and I'm doing the research on it right now because I just want to see it for myself. How many cases have you heard of police using or abusing their power in Fayetteville, North Carolina? How many? Now, I know of 3 off the top of my head. There might be some more, but there's 3 off the top of my head that was it made national news. So out of those 3, how many other incidents have we heard of Fayetteville police abusing their power?
Well, go ahead.
And then you got to think also, how can they abuse their power if he's supposed to be out? If he's supposed to be in the house, let's just say 10 o'clock, for instance. How can he abuse his power if the teen is in the house? He can't abuse it. Okay, so if there's a curfew, why are you out there? Because see,
Well, you had,
you
and you know
can't
what,
have it both ways.
and that and that's the part. And I've heard some, some of the stuff they're saying. Oh well, like the two main things that stuck in my head is maybe the child want to go for a walk. Okay, that was one. The other
Child.
one was it's like this is the one that gave me. The young lady got on TV and says, "Oh, I there's just a bunch of old people making rules for us young people, and the rules don't apply to them; they just apply to us." Last time I checked, how many young people were in Congress?
And not only that, Mario, too. That's why it's so much chaos going on in schools and just a whole lot, because they don't want structure. They don't want rules. They don't, you know what I'm saying? And then, like you said, okay, maybe somebody want to go for a walk. Where are you going walking at 10 o'clock at night by yourself? What are you doing? Because like you said, like, man, you talked earlier today, there are more, even though crime is committed sometime, a lot of times in the daytime, Mario, there are more eyes out during the daytime. But at nighttime, there are not too many eyes because people, again, are home from work. They inside. They're settling down with their families. They're having dinner. So a lot of things that's happening, not too many people are able to see that. You see? And so
Right.
they're not even looking at the side of the fact that not only we're trying to protect your children, our children, we're trying to keep down so much teen violence, teens out here just being destructive, teens out here. And you know what? If they start holding these parents accountable for these children that they feel like shouldn't have no curfew, I guarantee you most of them will start parenting.
Well, see, then and I think that's the problem across the board is that's it. They feel as though that people are already dealing with so much stuff that they don't need to be held accountable.
Oh.
They don't need to be held to the standard of everybody else. They should be given special privileges to where they can go out and do whatever, say whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and do everything they want to.
That's not the world we live in. That's not even reality. That's not even the real world. It's just not.
And then what was adding fuel to the fire was making it even worse are the ones that are against it. Like I said before, and I'm gonna say it again, they don't have a solution. It's just I don't want to do it. Civil rights. I don't want to do it. Constitution. Come on, man. Look at the definition of a civil right and the constitutional rights. It is not valid. How is it valid? Okay, so if you say that, then what is your fix for? What is your solution? How do you figure it out?
Right. And I think that's the problem is that the chief of police last night during the meeting, he debunked all those little crazy things that the other side is saying. Like I said, and my thing is it got to the point now where these individuals are coming out and they're just throwing stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you got one council member. That one council member has changed the name, completely changed the name of what it's called. He's calling it the youth criminalization curfew.
Wow.
So he has no intentions of
Mm-hmm.
having a curfew. He's not. His mind is already set. He's not
Mm-hmm.
listening. He just wants to prove his point that there is that all this whole entire curfew is to criminalize youth, is to go out and make them criminals. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, okay, only ones that can become criminals if they're out there committing crimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so again, they're saying that, oh, we're giving the police too much power. Well, darn, what power are we giving them?
Thank you.
I mean, it's like me personally, I would never want to be a police officer in today's society because
No.
there's more people against the police than for the police. And that thing is like, and like I was using that example before. Just because one bad cop does something doesn't mean all cops are bad. Just because one black child does something doesn't mean all black children are bad. It's on both sides of the situation. But we want to attack the police. And I sat there and I listened to the meeting last night. And it's like listening to some of the council members. It's like, y'all, how can you expect the chief of police to do his job if you're not allowing him to use the tools?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, so to me, it's like it has, but see, the thing is, this the other thing is, we're not being honest.
Mm-mm.
We are not being honest with the situation. And the honesty about the situation is who is committing the crimes in Fayetteville. Majority black, 75% is black. But we want to yell out race, we want to run out civil rights, we want to yell this stuff out. But the people who are committing the crime look like us. So where's the honesty in that? So if the majority of the people committing the crime are black, how can you say it's a race thing?
Well,
I'm just saying, it's like if
No.
majority of the people committing the crime in Fayetteville are black, how can you say it's a race thing? How can you say that every policy that we make is like we're targeting the black community?
well, let's go back to what's the little thing when you put numbers in and stuff like that.
Data.
Let's go back to the data and let's go back to, because like I said, I read every one of those charts that you sent me. I looked at every one of those charts. And so we know that, you know, and like I said, I feel that, you know, is that really, is that like a bias study, or is that really the truth? You see what I'm saying?
Oh, that chart, those charts were made by the police department, Fayetteville Police Department.
Yeah, but still though, they still can, I'm not saying that that's not the truth, but what I'm saying is that it seems like when I looked at the chart, I noticed that it's always going to be blacks that's committing the most crimes, you know what I'm saying? Then you have Asians, then you have the whites, and then you have, you know what I'm saying? And so, and if that's what it really is and stuff like that, then we as black people in a black community, then we really need to come together ourselves and try to figure out a solution. So that way that our numbers, if our numbers won't be so high. So instead of us sitting around and trying to complain and say that, you know, don't give the police a reason, don't give you know, the town halls reasons, don't give the mayor reasons to say that it's 75% black people committing crimes. So we got to come together as a community and we got to get those numbers down if that's the case. And getting those numbers down is that we got to start going back to curfews, neighborhood watch. You know, when we had Big Mamas, we had the village. You know what I'm saying, Mario? So that way, you know, it really does have to start with us. It really does have to start with us.
And it takes two sides to come up with a plan to fix something.
Yeah.
It doesn't work when one side come up when the chief of police says curfew. Okay, it takes two. Okay, if he say curfew, then the other one say yes curfew, but.
Yeah.
And then you go back and forth. It just can't be curfew, no. Okay, so what does that no mean? Okay, well, what do you? I say curfew, you say no. So what do you come up with? You just can't say no.
Right.
And then that's that. You know,
and I think
and it's gonna be beating a dead horse. Cause I know he's frustrated. I don't even have to see his face. I know he's frustrated. I say curfew, you say no. I say curfew because of this, and this. These are the trends. This is what we trying to combat. Oh, this is what we trying to circumvent. You say no, but you're not telling me nothing.
right.
It's like trying to pull blood from a turnip. I've been through it. You've been through it.
Right.
It's hard. It takes two. If I'm going to sit here and talk to you about this party, you're going to say, this is what I offer. I got to tell you what applies to me or ask you questions about what comes with all that. If you just say, this is what I got, and I don't say nothing,
we just got to go with what
then you know, because I can't come to the party and then say, well, you handle it, and then you handle it, then I say, that ain't the music I want. Oh, yeah, bro, I call you and you talk. That's why it has to be, the lines of communication have to be open on both sides. It goes both ways. He's not saying the curfew is the be all end all. He's saying the curfew is the starting point.
And he said it's a recommendation.
Yes.
It's a tool
Yes.
that he can use. It's not. It's
Yes.
not going to solve the entire problem.
No.
But it's a
No.
tool. But it's like it just. And I'm gonna take it even farther. One step farther is Eric. When we did back in, and I'm gonna say this, but a lot of people gonna say, "Well, this ain't the combat zone." Well, it's not a battlefield. Well, you know what? When you're fighting crime, it is a battlefield. So first thing first is when in the military we do a risk assessment.
Yes.
Right. And when we do a risk assessment, when we do our operations, most of our operations are done at night. Why are our operations done at night?
Less people, you get to move around, and basically we on the night. So and it makes it easier to do the risk assessment.
Right. So your risk assessment, number one, is the non-combatants that have nothing to do with the situations at hand of fighting crime are no longer on the battlefield. You remove the non-combatants from the battlefield. In this case, the non-combatants in this situation are the children. The children don't need to be on the battlefield. The children don't need to be in a situation where things can go left or right. And that's what people are not understanding is that when you're fighting crime, the streets is the battlefield. And if the children are out in the streets after 11 p.m., they are non-combatants in a situation where they become hurt. So when we do our raids and our situations in the battlefield, what do? We go at night because it's less casualties of non-combatants getting taken, like we accidentally shooting somebody or we accidentally doing something wrong to the wrong people. So that's how we operate. Police, that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to remove the non-combatants from the battlefield, which in this case are the children. I was listening to the police chief said that when they went and there was a shooting because they were hanging out in the parking lot of a gas station. There was 12 children underage that were present during that shooting. Why would children be, again, the streets are the battlefield? Why would you want non-combatants, which are the children, on the battlefield? Why would you want them out there in a possibility of getting shot or killed?
And why would you drop a grenade in the lap of the person that just have a suggestion? This is where we start. It's called brainstorming. Typical meetings, brainstorming, devil advocate, come up with a suggestion. At the end of the day, what's the conclusion? This is what we're gonna do, curfew, and this, and this. So if I say curfew, then you come up with a no, and you say in lieu of a curfew, let's do this, and then we go into the brainstorming. But if I just say curfew, you say no, my head is gonna explode because I'm trying to figure out, okay, what you want me to do? Because you can't turn around and tell me to fix it if I'm coming up with suggestions to fix it and you're not giving me any input.
But my thing is who are you to, like, and this is one of the things I'm going to say. If you're out in the battlefield and you are making all the calls, you're the one you're the one doing everything that needs to be necessary to win the fight on the battlefield. Why would I listen to a politician sitting safe in the United States? We're nowhere close to the fight. Why would they have any input? Why? If you're not in the fight, why should you have any input? And see, some of these council members, they're throwing out, well, just like politicians do. Oh, we want our cavalry, we want the details on this and details of that, but you're not on the battlefield.
Exactly.
So if the chief of police is the one who's on the battlefield, who's leading the charge on the battlefield, why do we want to restrain him to where he can't win?
Exactly. So they can have a single point of face of somebody they can blame. It's what it is.
It's to me, they're using it as a politician thing. They're doing politics with this.
Yes.
Why would I want to listen to a group, an organization that comes out and whoever they are? I don't even know the name of the group, but never heard of them. But this group comes out and they want to give their input. Okay, are they in the fight? Are they in the fight? Are they fighting crime? That's my question is, if you're not fighting crime, move out the way.
Move out the way?
Move out the way. If you're not going to fight crime, if you're not going to be out there at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning dealing with the chaos and the stupid stuff that's going on out there in the streets, then move out the way.
Move out the way.
I think that the ones that are opposing it, not having the curfew, I really feel, Mario, in my spirit that it's not a concern for them. They don't even really care, you know what I'm saying? They don't care. They don't care either way. It's about ulterior motive. Because if you really, to me, I feel like if you really cared about the youth and the teenagers and stuff like that, Mario, then you'll be saying something totally different. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So what really is your agenda?
Because one thing is, the way you win is you come up with another solution to help in the fight.
Yes.
You don't come up, you want to sit back and watch the fight, but you want to control the fight where it fits your political agenda.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that happens to us so when we go into the combat zone, we don't have time to listen to the politics that are going on for people who are sitting in their houses
on the ground
and not in the battlefield.
Yeah.
And that's what the police department is up against. They're fighting these crimes, and they already got one hand tied behind their back. Or we don't want the police out there because they might abuse the policy. Are you fighting crime? Are you fighting crime? See, if you're not fighting crime, go sit your ass down. I mean, it's just that simple.
But if you okay, so if you're breaking the laws, right, Mario, why do you feel like there should be no consequences? Like if there's a rule, if there's a law or a rule that's put out and you break that, then if we don't have those type of things in place, then we might as well just walk out here and just like you and Kathy being parents to y'all two sons, right? So if y'all don't have boundaries and stuff in y'all home, you might as well let your two sons just do whatever they want to do, and you and Kathy just twiddle your thumbs, or y'all just leave out the house with a suitcase packed and say, you know what, y'all just do whatever. You have to have things in place for things to run smoothly, right? You know, and that's just what it is. It's like if we just allow these teenagers and anybody to just go out here and just do whatever it is that they want to do, Mario, then oh God, we need to really just be careful out here in this world. We just really need to just stay prayed up, you know, have our little guns stuck to our hip, you know what I'm saying? Right. Because that's where we going. It's so sad that you can't even. It's barely enough to go out in the daytime, Mario, and people are trying to snatch your purse or hijack your car, or just imagine being out here again. We said at nighttime when there's not a lot of eyes on you, you know. Right. I want to be safe when I walk out here in these streets and stuff like that. I want my children to be safe, my grandkids to be safe, you know, my friends to be safe.
Just imagine, well, that's just an example of what you see. Imagine being charged with keeping it under control. See, he's getting punched on both sides of the face. He can't turn the other cheek. He's got two fists coming at him. One of them saying, fix it. Okay, curfew. But then the other one saying, no curfew, but not giving a solution.
Yeah.
It's just like
but they want him to fix it though without no curfew.
Yeah, it's just like Mario said. If you're not in the battle, then stay out the way. So it's just like when you sit down with a couple for a wedding. It ain't got nothing to do with mama, ain't got nothing to do with daddy, brother, nothing. They don't have nothing to do with it. Stay out the way. Let us sit there and talk about this. This is our wedding. This is what we're gonna do it. So you can't tell him he's the police, and then say you can't police like that. Okay, then what you want me to do? What do you suggest?
Well, when the crime go up, then they're like, okay, police chief, we need to have a meeting. What are you gonna do about all this crime that went up? Even though we didn't feel like we should have had a curfew, but what are you gonna do now about the crime that's the crime rate going up again? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna give you a solution, but you're gonna fix it.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna like the way you fix it. But you're gonna fix it.
But I think that's the problem in this situation is that they want to yell out, and this is the thing that I like. Their so-called data. Okay, everybody can find data to prove your point. It doesn't matter if you're against it or for it. We all can find data to make it work or not work. Okay, so that data means nothing. The only data that matters is the data from our actual community. So if you go get data from Baltimore, right? Is that data is Fayetteville and Baltimore the same thing?
No.
Chicago, Fayetteville is the same thing?
No.
Atlanta, Fayetteville is the same thing?
No.
So it's like you're getting all this data from all these different places, and yet they're nowhere close to how
Holding the
Fayetteville
water.
is.
Yeah.
So you're saying something, but yet, okay, so then when we get the actual data that does represent Fayetteville, oh, you didn't break it down the right way. I wanted you to show crime for everybody and then show how it plays a part into it. The fact that you got all his charts represent juveniles doing stuff after 11 p.m. So you don't want to hear about the kids committing crimes. You want to hear about the adults committing crimes, but we're not talking about adults. We're talking about children. So how many of these children, and then how many of these children are becoming victims?
Yeah, it's especially the ones that's not out here committing crimes.
Right.
The ones that's out here trying to be productive. The ones that's out here trying to get out of school and become something. The ones that's out here just trying to go run to the store because their mom, they 16 years old and they got license. They can drive to the store and they just minding their business. You know what I'm saying? But you out here committing crimes because you feel like they are an easy target. That is crazy.
And if you're so worried about the police abusing their power, when he say curfew, that's when you come in and say, okay, curfew, but here's the checklist that you need to go through if you see somebody outside of the time. Okay, well then that's something to work off of, but you can't say, fix it, I say curfew, and you give me nothing. No, that's it, that's all you give me. That's the biggest hurdle that we're having right now. Help him, help y'all.
And I think that's the problem is that these individuals, and this is the thing is I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna call them the Get Along Gang. The Get Along Gang of Fayetteville decided they don't want police officers to have no more power because the Get Along Gang are all power and knowing about Fayetteville. They lived in Fayetteville all their lives, so they know the ins and outs. So the Get Along Gang are just making up crazy stuff, putting stuff out there just to encourage people not to have. I mean, how many articles have they written on this thing? I mean, they wrote so many articles on this thing, but yet you don't see articles about the 307 police cars, that motor vehicles that have been stolen within a 6 months time frame. You don't hear about all these kids committing crimes. Or better yet, let's talk about who's committing crimes. You don't hear that stuff because it goes against their agenda. So you put all the information out there, on both sides. The police, I mean, why would I, the police officer, if I'm the police chief, gonna come and give you stats to support what you're trying to do? Why would I do that? Why would I make it tilt the scale your way on purpose? You it's like if you're against it, you go do your own darn homework.
Yeah,
that's right.
So that's why I don't understand, and that's why I say is that this whole situation is more political driven from all the. And the thing is, what's so sad is that these black groups that have came forth and decide they want to take their stand on this. I'm disappointed that I even once upon a time used to support these groups. I'm extremely disappointed that I used to work with these people. And it's sad that they're doing this to our community. They do not want to fix the problems in our community. They want the police to be like, but yeah, what we should do is let the police officers come in, let them play Tetris and Miss Pac-Man in the office and let them go home because they don't want the police to do their job.
But they're going to be the first ones calling the police when a crime happens to them.
No, and then they're going to blame the police for not doing their job. But you're the one that said not for him to do the job. Okay, should I play Tetris or should I police? What do you want me to do? And again, you're going to get the blank stare. I don't know. You're the police. No, come up with a plan.
Mario, what was it again that your son said about the curfew? What did you say? What did they response was?
Both my sons said that they said that they think they should have a curfew because it'll keep people from doing stupid stuff. It'll keep people safe. And the children know that, and that's why I say let the children be involved because the children know who are doing the stuff that they're doing. And one thing is like we go back and let's talk about the black community. The ones that they're claiming, and this is the one thing I hate about what we do as the black community, is we will stand up and say no to the police, but we won't say a damn thing about the ones that we know are committing crimes in our community. We won't do it. Because then we're labeled a snitch. We have these stupid ass rules in the black community just to keep black people down.
Snitches
We
get
as
stitches.
our own race are keeping black people down. We don't need the white people to do it because we're doing it to ourselves.
We're doing a good job.
We're doing a real good job of it.
They keep on watering that seed that been planted. You understand what I'm saying? You can let that plant, you can let that seed die. You don't have to water that plant no more. Now it's time to go out here and dig some new ground for some new roots and stuff like that, so we can decide on how we're gonna plant this tree, how we're gonna allow this tree to grow. You know, that is just the craziest thing to me.
My thing is these same groups out here that are protesting. I want you to go and protest to the criminals and see how they respond to you. Go out there and protest to the criminals. Find the criminals that you already know where they're at, and protest against them. How's that going to go? How's that going to work? You're going to protest the police because the police are an easy target, but you won't say nothing to the criminals
that you know.
Yeah.
We're not gonna say nothing. But then when something happened to you, because you're the one that didn't say nothing, where's the police at? Why is this? You said, why are you coming to my neighborhood? Why are you here? What you doing here? Ain't nobody gonna talk to you. So then you want them to solve it with nothing. Solve the case with nothing. How can I solve it if you don't tell me anything? I'm sitting here pulling my hair out. What is it? You know, it is so hard. I understand what he's going through because I've been there. It is so hard to get anything from one. You can't get anything from one side of communication. You can't. This is the issue that we have. All right, I propose that we come in at this time. Oh, I can't come in at that time. We don't want to come in at that time. Okay, so what time do you want to come in? I don't know. You're in charge. You tell us. I just said that, and you said no. So you are gonna sit here and you're gonna give me something. Well, we don't know. Well, then we're gonna sit here and look at each other and twiddle our thumbs until we figure out something. Well, you're not being benefit. I already put it out there to you. Now we should be brainstorming because you give me something, and then we sit down here and we backwards playing.
The only thing that I feel, okay, so if the curfew is put in place, right? Okay. And so, you know, and they think it's so bad that because in my mind, they're thinking that, okay, if they don't have a curfew, you know, they saying that there's not going to be a lot of crimes committed because they are against the curfew. So what they're going to do, so if they keep this, so the teenagers have to be in the house at a certain time, what they're going to do? They're going to commit crimes against their own family. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not, they trying to have it both ways. It's like, okay, how is it against, like you said, against your constitutional rights? It don't make no sense to me, Mario. It's like, I'm trying to understand that, like how. It's like, we got so far, the world is so messed up now. And it's not so much of the world, the people that's in it, the way they think. It's like, sometimes you be like, dang, is it me? Is it us? We don't make no sense. Because when sometimes when you are for wrong, it's like it's reversed now. It's like heterosexual couples, you know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes it's like we wrong for having a wife and a husband. You know, it's like they go out here and they do things so much to where they normalize it, and then it seems like the things that we doing that's right, it make it seem like we doing things that's wrong because they feel like, well, no, da 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 da. My grandson, like I said, whether there's a curfew in place or there's not, he's not going to be out here in these streets like that because he already know what it is. You see what I'm saying? He already know. So there's a curfew in place, Mario. It ain't going to matter to him either way because he don't even be out there like that anyway.
And I think that's the thing. And that's why a lot of people are not worried if we have a curfew or not because they already know that their kids are going to do the right thing regardless. Yes. And I think that is the part that I think we all can say is that, you know, regardless if the city is going to do something or not, we're going to do what we have to protect our family. And these organizations out here they're like, I mean, right now, I'm so disappointed in all of them because they would rather sit here and fight this, but don't come up with a solution. Not doing
No.
that. When I see them out there in the streets with the police officers, and then I say, if y'all feel that bad, then you take one of your representatives and put them with each police officer, and then to make sure and let them be the referee on how the police officer do things, and then you go from there. The thing is, what goes on? What my thing is this: you got these people who majority of them don't know a damn thing about the law. Not all, like the leaders, they know because they're required to get training to be in a leadership position. But most of these people, it's just like when they led that protest down down Skybar Road. Were they thinking of the safety of the people when they did that? No. They wanted to get a spotlight. So you go out there and you distract the whole world by blocking them from being able to go shopping. You go out there and you get in the most busiest, craziest road in Fayetteville, and you have kids, young adults out there jumping back and forth in between cars. Who does that?
This happened for real?
Yeah, this happened for real. When George Floyd,
okay, that's right. Okay, yeah. I'm thinking about. I'm like
some leaders led those young people out there in that darn traffic. And the cars, and there's still videos on how they were going back and forth on the roads. These are the leaders we want to listen to. They are endangering the youth just to make a point.
Yeah.
And you know, and like we're saying, we can't say it enough. The biggest problem is lack of a solution. I know that Chief ain't got no hair now because he done pulled it all out of his head. You want answers. I'm giving you something, and you giving me nothing in return. What am I supposed to do? Because the way it happens is you get a curfew. You say this is your solution. Y'all get together. Y'all brainstorm. Okay, it's going to be a curfew, and these are the prerequisites for it. If somebody get caught, and if they get caught, they don't have this, then this, and then this, and then this. And like you said, you can have, if you so worried about them doing that, then have somebody shadow them.
Yeah.
Have
somebody shadow police. If y'all are so worried that the police are going to do something bad, then take your people in your organization, whatever organization it is, and have them ride shotgun with the police officers.
That's right.
Because we know it's going to be protocol. They're not going to take no teenagers to jail because they was out past curfew.
They already
said
that. You're right. Go ahead. They already said that, but go ahead.
Yeah, they gotta have things in order. Okay, let's just say there's a curfew, right? And then the police is policing. They go out here and let's just say they say Savion, for example. The first thing they're gonna do, Mario, because it has to go from 1 all the way down to A from Z. So the first thing they're probably gonna end up doing is they're gonna stop the teenager wherever they at, and then they're gonna ask them you're not supposed to be out here. And what they're probably gonna end up doing is calling the parents and then taking them home. That's gonna be probably number one. That's gonna be number one warning. Number two warning probably gonna be, okay, it's not gonna be drastic until the teenager that's continuing to break curfew out here commit the crime. Then that's when it's something, it's gonna be where legally something is become involved. But they're not gonna just stop the teenagers and harass the teenagers and you're going to jail.
It's not.
It has to be stuff in place with that.
It's just like real quick. I mean, it's just like that. The curfew has been solved. You come up with a curfew with a time. If they get caught, first offense, make them call their parents to come get them wherever they are. Don't take them to the police station. No.
Well, see, that's what they're saying. Yeah, and that's what they're saying is that they'll try to reach out to the parents. The only way they're going to go to the police station, which is, they said the soft room is what they called it last night. I think it's soft room. And as if they can't get in contact with the parents.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And so it's like, and then the thing is what the police chief did last night, for those who didn't tune in and watch the actual meeting, is it happened to his daughter, where he got a phone call because she violated Cumberland County's curfew. And so he had to go pick up his daughter. They called him, and he had to go pick his daughter up.
And guess what? I bet she didn't do it no more. Because see
Oh,
now
so
you got
but see, the thing is, what the chief did was he said that he had to reevaluate his parenting skills when that happened.
mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, and I think that's the whole thing. This is not
Yes.
about race. It's
No.
not about stealing someone's civil rights. It's about being a
Children.
parent,
It's about children.
and making sure your children are safe.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you should come get him no matter where he at. If he over there on the Merc by the Quick Mart, that's where they should stop and wait right there and call. Okay, we tried twice. Okay, we're gonna go to the soft room, but somebody needs to lay hands on you so they will know. Okay, well we serious about this curfew, but you just can't say no curfew.
Well, let me ask the both of y'all guys. Like, okay, so what time should a curfew be in effect, and what's the age? So I'll start with you, Mario.
Well, the way I look at it is that I think the curfew should apply to 15 and younger.
You said 15 and younger.
15 and younger,
Okay.
because you can't get a job at 15.
Okay.
There's no reason for
license.
You can't have a license. You can't do anything anyways without someone being. So 15 and younger makes perfect sense.
Okay,
16,
now
17, 16, 17, that's a whole different ball game because there's so many different scenarios that play into that. And I mean, like what the police are, I mean, what they broke down.
Fast food for one.
Right. They broke it down to where there was way, I mean, they broke it completely down, but to me, the curfew should apply to 15 and younger. And then for 16, 17, 18, certain things need to be put in place for them. But again, the time, I would say 11 o'clock sounds reasonable. I know
for 15 and younger.
For 15 and younger, that sounds reasonable.
Okay.
Because everything in Fayetteville stays open until 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, a lot of activities that they do stay open till 11 o'clock. So I think that's reasonable. So if you if you drop your kids off somewhere and you go back and pick them up, it's like that makes a little more sense to me.
Yeah.
It's because 11 p.m. or most of the stuff Fayetteville's closed anyways.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to me. 16, 17, 18, because they are in the process of becoming young adults and they have certain things they can do. They can drive, they work. Those are the two major factors, is having a driver's license, the school activities that they do. All those fall into the category of 16, 17, 18. Me personally, like what they've done is they're taking the chief's recommendation and they're coming up with their own version of a curfew. So they're going to do this research. They're going to reach out to these different partners. They're going to do it. And again, by the time they do all this stuff, I mean, it maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work, but it's more of to me, it was more of a politician playbook scenario. They're not serious about fighting crime. They're not serious about keeping the children safe. No one can, at this point, from what I've been seeing, no one really cares about the safety of the children or the
that's how I feel.
Or they don't care about the crime that's going on. All they want to do is they want to get in the spotlight and make themselves look good for election. That's all they're doing.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
That's all they're doing.
So what you think, Eric?
Well, going off what Mario said, I was gonna say it depends on what time everything closes. Okay, so 11 o'clock, everything closes 11 o'clock, and 11 o'clock. So this is where the crosstalk and the brainstorming come in. Okay, you got 16 through 18. Okay, they're gonna have a driver license. They're gonna be working. They're gonna have certain things that they do. That'll be part of the checklist that they go through. You see what I'm saying? And then that way, the biggest thing for me would be if you get caught, if you're 15 and under, and you get caught, the only way is you call a parent. They go right there. They call it in, and the policeman stand right there while they call, and you call the parent to come get you. And then that way, that'll cut down on all that because they're going to see that you're serious. And then they will cut down on that. There has to be a curfew.
Well, see right now, and what I look at things right now is the city council has lost their authority. They lost their power. They no longer have any power authority. You can't trust them anymore. They've been compromised. All of them have been compromised. We can't trust what you say anymore because you no longer are capable of doing your jobs. Okay, so it's time to let the people speak. My recommendation is let people vote on it. Let people just vote on the curfew.
Do you think that the teenagers should be able to just, like you said, just not vote because that just hear, because I would love to hear what they have to say. I really would.
Now, I want them to vote too. I want them to
Yeah.
vote too. I want
You want
the
them
I
to,
want anyone that I would say from the age of was it 13 to 18 should be able to vote.
okay.
12-year-old, that's 12 years young. No, 13 to 18 should be able to vote. And then everyone who lives in the Fayetteville community should be able to vote.
Okay.
And then from the votes, those numbers
data.
will be enough to determine who wants it and who doesn't want it. You can't
Yeah.
right now. We can't trust the council members to do anything right now.
No.
They're sitting there. I mean, they're tap dancing. They're playing this political game. They're
Filibuster.
yeah. I don't trust none of them anymore. It's just like it's a waste of time. It's like we're paying these people to do nothing. They're doing nothing. I mean, my thing is they want the chief of police to do something. He make a recommendation. They shoot it down, and then they want to play politics. Oh well, I'm gonna stand on my soapbox, and they're violating our civil rights. But 400 cities have it. I mean, they're sitting here and they're just playing these games,
Yeah.
and we ain't got time for games. We don't
No.
have time for games. Every single one of them is like it's got to the point now where they want to sit here and talk big, and I'm going to be disrespectful to the police to the chief of police because it makes me look good. Really?
And you know what? And I guarantee you, Mario, most of the votes will be the parents that parent. The parents that parents, their children are going to be the ones that vote for the curfew. Guarantee you.
Yeah. And then the kids that know the bad things that go on will also be the ones that vote for the curfew.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is let's vote. Let's take all the political BS out of the picture.
Yeah.
Which that's what's going on. You got political BS coming from these crazy organizations, which I will never ever work for again. Then you got these other ones out here, the council members, they're doing their tap dancing because someone did a political stunt, and oh no, not the newspaper. The newspaper's writing 3 articles. Ooh, I mean, what is really going on?
Yeah.
Do your job. Don't worry about the political.
Yeah.
Do your job. Take care of the people of the community.
Yeah.
And I think
look, Mario, for once, take care
for
of
once.
Yeah.
Yes.
For once. Do your job and take care of the community.
And then help the chief to help you.
Yes.
Right.
Stop
The chief ain't playing politics. He's trying to do his job. Y'all want to play politics.
You can't task me to do a job and then not do the job. You got a problem with me doing my job.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. Well, like you said, Mario, like we said, we're going to continue to parent. We're going to continue to protect our families, and we're going to continue to curfew. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we just are. We are. And so, I just hope that even whether it's going to be put in place or it's not, my prayer is that a lot of the parents, they just have this curfew automatically, whether it be passed or not, because that's just number one, that's the right thing to do. It will keep their teenagers safe, and it will cut down on a lot of the crime. So just parent. If you parent, then a curfew shouldn't even have to be put in place, because you should already automatically say, you know what, my child don't have no business being outside at a certain time unless they're school activities, they're going to work, or you know what I'm saying, that those type of things. So if you parent, it won't even be hard.
And also a curfew, whether it's passed by law or one that you give to your kids, it causes both sides to think. It causes you as a parent to think, okay, well, I told him he got to be home by, let's just say 10 o'clock. Then I need to make sure I got everything in place for him to be home. It's going to cause him to think, okay, while I'm out and about, I got to be home by 10, so I need to do this. They're going to backwards plan and figure out everything they got to do prior to. I mean, it just helps both ways. There's no negative can come out of it. The only negative that can come out of it is you ain't got a solution to it. You just say no.
What is your last thoughts, Mario? As
My
far as
thing
the
is
curfew.
like we need for the get along game to go get along somewhere else and focus on taking care of the community and the
Yes.
people in the community. Y'all want to play politics game? Go play Monopoly. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where it's coming down to is that these so-called people in that are in these leadership positions. I didn't know they got paid. I was like, wow, they get paid to do a job. They're doing a terrible job. But I mean, it's just like one of those things to where now, if you're not about taking care of stuff, if you're not about taking care of business, then go sit down somewhere. Go
Yes,
play,
sir.
like I said, go play Monopoly, go play Tetris, go do something else.
Yeah.
Because like right now, it's like I don't trust not one council member on the board anymore. I don't. They're going back and forth, and I get it. But at this point in time, let the people speak. Vote. Let's vote on it. Let's just go ahead
Yeah.
and vote. And see, the other thing is the opposing side don't want to vote because they know they're going to lose.
Yes. Yes.
They know they're going to lose.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
thing is,
Yes.
they know that if people was to vote on this
Mm-hmm.
curfew, they will
This
lose,
bill.
and they will lose big time.
Yes.
And so they're terrified. They don't want to vote. So they're playing these political games. And well, I told you. I mean, you're going to be disrespectful to the police chief in public. Really? I mean, you're playing these political games. You're making up new words of youth criminalization. Like ooh. It's like they're playing these stupid little games. And
It's
it's
like,
like
yeah.
it's like so. And then those organizations come out. Yeah, we're protesting. For what? What are you protesting? There's nothing to protest about. This is about
Yeah.
safety.
Yeah.
But you want to protest? Okay, take your protesting ass out there to those criminals and you protest with them and see what happens.
See how that goes there, buddy.
See how that goes.
I
Well,
know,
take your
right?
sign out there. We don't want. What the hell? Pow, pow, pow. Oh, did it work? Really?
I
You're
know,
going to
right?
protest the ones fighting the crime, but you're not going to protest the ones that are committing the crimes?
That's true.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's why I say it's this is all a political spotlight that they're all wanting to play. And oh yeah, we look good disrespecting the police chief in public in front of everybody because that makes me look like I'm Superman.
No, it don't. Yeah, it make you super dumb. That's what it
It makes you
does.
super dumb, right?
Yes. Yes. That
And
is
I'm
the
saying that's
deep.
why I said that these individuals are like it's like let them play the political game, let it play out, and the people will see them for who they really are.
Yeah.
That's at this point down time. I mean, it's just like oh, like well, whatever. They're okay. They're still playing politics. Oh, maybe we'll get another article from the newspaper. Or maybe we get somebody else crazy enough to go on a radio show and talk about all the coulda, wouldas, and did, and it doesn't mean anything.
Oh, Mario, they're gonna get a cape flying around to my I'm super curfew.
Right. I mean, I'm
No,
super
I mean
no
this
curfew.
stuff
I'm
in
just
the
gonna.
damn.
I mean, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that it's like this whole thing, and this is Fayetteville politics.
Yeah.
I keep telling people this is Fayetteville politics. Fayetteville politics. This is what they do best. They create a problem that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
They create problems, and this even the organizations, these so-called organizations that think that they're taking care of people and they really aren't. They'll go out here and they'll create a problem, and then they do nothing. They go out here and we're going to protest, but what are you protesting? You protesting your own protest? I mean, you're
protesting the protest.
You protest your protest?
I'm protesting the protest. That's what I'm doing.
Protesting the protest.
That's what they're doing. That's what
And then go on national TV, and I don't know why these old people are making all these rules for us young people. It doesn't affect
now,
you.
huh?
I mean, wow. How about we go get some kindergartners so they can make all the laws and rules then?
Remember when I told you the other day, I said they better be for that curfew so they can get to our age, or they won't be old if they go. You know what I'm saying? Without no curfew, hey, we living longer than them now, aren't we?
Well, I mean, you know what? That's why I say we, and that's why people do not believe in the political system because it's corrupt. It's like they want to sit here and play these little games. They want to sit here and shoot out numbers and data. Well, in Chicago, we had 52 people that said yes to the Big Mac. What the hell does that mean to me? I don't live in Chicago and I don't eat Big Mac. So what the hell?
Yeah.
I mean,
Jesus.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is that they're getting to the point where they're making up. I mean, this is Fayetteville politics. they'll make up a problem and then protest the problem, get a couple of news articles out there, get the news to come in, and then the problem will just slowly but surely disappear.
File chapter 11 and disappear. Poof, gone.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they do. It's like a contingency. Like, okay, before election, let's go out here and let's create a problem. Well, chief, what can you do? And the thing is, they'll set the police chief up every single time. Well, police chief, what recommendations do you think is good for us? You actually, and I can see the police chief. You actually asking me this. You want me to answer this question? Are you sure? You want me to answer this question? You sure you want me to answer this question? He answered the question, and then, oh no, the police chief is trying to do his job. Let's go out and protest. Yeah. Here come the news cameras, cheese. And then they get their little pictures, they get their little video, they get the little girl to come on. I don't know why old people are making all these rules for us. Which last time I checked, the old people want to make all the rules and laws in the council.
Yeah,
It's like watching a cartoon. Every time Fayetteville gets into the news, I sit back and wonder, do not people understand they just made this stuff up just for that purpose?
Mm-hmm.
They're not serious about anything.
Yeah.
When is the last time Fayetteville actually did something that really meant something across the board?
Yeah.
I mean, I sit back when COVID happened. They arguing. The council members are arguing about COVID policies and procedures. They're grandstanding. Okay, it don't matter. They don't mean nothing because we still got to go with the state telling us what to do.
That's right.
So what difference does it make because the council member said something about COVID? Because we still got to follow what the state put out. But they'll grandstand in a heartbeat just because. So that's why when you see a problem come up, you see people protest, you see council members disrespect the chief of police. It's all staged. Everything is staged for a political show, and then it means nothing.
Yeah.
We go right back and have the exact same problem they had before the political story started. I'm telling you, Fayetteville has its own little cartoon series, and they do this every single time. It's a track record where they go out, they'll make a problem. They'll get the chief of police. They'll set the chief of police up every single time. Oh no, we're going to be pro against the chief of police. I'm going to disrespect him, so then I look good on the camera. Yeah, y'all get my left side. Am I looking good? Okay, yeah, making sure I look good on the camera. Then they get these so-called protesters to go out and protest, and then they have no clue what they're protesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Catch one by themselves. Don't catch one by themselves, and you'll hear the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then what was really funny is how many times have you heard in the news 52 people showed up to talk against the curfew? If the truth be told, it was 39 people. The other ones were there for the homeless issues in Fayetteville. But you keep hearing these people say 52 because it's a bigger number.
Mm-hmm.
They're not telling the truth. They're all about
data. Yeah, 52 Greasewell.
Data game. Well, you might as well just roll the dice and let's play Monopoly. And if I land on Park Place, hey, I got all the money. I mean, that's what to me the whole scenario is that this is a whole political stage game that they're playing.
Yeah.
And they want to look good before elections.
That's all it is. Closer to election, the more problems they have.
The more crazy
stuff they come up with. This really was a good one though, because like I said, we good over here. You know what I'm saying, Mario? So
yeah.
Even
though we're gonna be good over here because
it isn't. We curfew here.
We pro curfew here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, but this was definitely a good one and stuff like that. It really was. I tell you.
Well, see, so. I want to make one more valid point.
Okay, go ahead.
Is if a civilian comes up, then this is the problem that I have with this whole crazy Fayetteville politics.
Mm-hmm.
You have a concerned civilian in your community comes up. You have a district meeting. You're a council member and you have a district meeting.
Mm-hmm.
You set it up where the police chief is there. You, as a concerned parent, a concerned civilian in this community, you go to the meeting. You listen to everything that's been presented to you. You ask your questions. You're fact checking what is being told to you. You do everything you're supposed to do at your level. And then you have some rogue council member decide that he's going to silence all of us because he disagrees. Not his, he disagrees with it. So because he disagrees with it, he wants to silence everybody else. And so then the council members, they want to play these games because, we get 39 people to come in. Well, let me back up. 39 is the truth. 52 looks better on the newspaper.
Yeah,
52 people come in here and they're protesting, right? So we're gonna we're gonna make a big deal about this. Oh yeah, we got people with signs. No curfew, no curfew. All this is a political cartoon. You ask the chief to do his job, then you want to play cartoon characters. The get along game comes in. You got the get along game going on, newspaper writing there. Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, I like this. Then you get a retired judge. Well, yeah, back in my days when I was a judge, I sentenced a lot of these people, but I don't think this curfew is going to work. Okay, you get all these different cartoon characters to come into this cartoon and play their part.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people I don't know and don't care. Why do I care about these people? They don't work for the community. But I call them the Fayetteville celebrities. So Fayetteville has its own celebrities. Forget Hollywood. We got our own celebrities. So our celebrities, which are the cartoon characters coming on the get along game, they all get together and they play these little games. Oh yeah, no, the police officer, the police, they're just they're gonna hurt our feelings. So we don't want the police out there. No, we don't need a curfew. But it's okay for the criminals to go out here and continue to keep killing people and stuff, but we have no solution for that. That's too hard. That's doing our job. We can't talk about that because then we'll be doing our job. So we want to talk about stuff to get us reelected. And that's what's going on. Is this is a whole political game to them. They're not serious about what they're saying.
Yeah. Yep.
But again, my thing is let the people speak. Let's call all these other clowns and the get along gang and all of them are Fayetteville celebrities. We count all those out of the picture and let the people speak. Vote on it, and it will silence everybody. All these cartoon characters that we have coming out of the woodworks. Yes. Cartoon character. And this was a little funny. Well, it's a legal issue. From what I was told, it's a legal issue, and they can't do curfew. Wow. Okay. So you mean to tell me 400 cities are violating the law? That's a scary thought. But yeah, but I'm gonna continue to look. We're gonna keep watching this cartoon series called Fayetteville Politics and see what happens. But regardless if it passes or not, we know we're gonna take care of our children.
Yeah.
We know our families are gonna be taken care of.
Yes.
Politics, it would be nice if they did their job. It would be nice if they did something to keep our children safe. It would be nice for them to stop them. 307 cars in Fayetteville. I didn't know we had that many cars in Fayetteville. 370 cars?
Oh my God.
Like, wow, really?
Mario, go get you some rest.
I know I'm delirious. Just come off the road.
I know. Yeah. Look. When I get tired, I'll be laughing at everything because I don't know, but yeah. This was really I really enjoyed this. I wish Tisha could have joined us, but like she said, she had been having a bad headache and she couldn't get rid of her headache, so she said she even had to cancel her Zumba class too. So we're gonna try to come up with something good for next week too.
Oh, definitely. I like I said, I want to talk about cartoon characters. I want to talk about the Fayetteville celebrities. I don't know half of them, but I mean, it's funny though. That it's funny to me because the Fayetteville celebrities that come out, you see them in the newspaper, you see them on the news, you see them on some AM 1600 radio station, and they just be making up stuff. Like, I think Tom and Jerry was out there committing crimes too. Yeah, we might want to get a hold of them. I mean,
Tom and Jerry.
But yeah, but this was I hope this show, ladies and
I
gentlemen,
enjoyed
again,
that.
it was entertaining and educational at the same time. I hope you enjoyed this show. And again, keep your eye out on these silly people we call cartoon characters.
Yes.
I mean, we all know we got to take care of our community. We all know that we can't, in so many cases, we can't rely on our local government to do their job. So in most cases, we need to do our job for it. We got to continue to keep taking care of us and doing what's right for our community because nobody else is going to do it.
No.
We already see that. Nobody else is going to do it. All right. So good night, everyone. I'm going to go get some rest. I just came off the road from ATL, which I can go back, but y'all be safe and we'll talk later.
Good night, everyone.